I've built a good amount of gaming computers on my channel, ranging all the way from $100 upwards of a couple thousand. But this PC only cost me $324.58, and this is the best $324 gaming PC I've ever built. It can play most, if not all, games that are out right now at 1080p with high settings, and you can even play some games at 1440p. The only game I can't tell you if it runs is Starfield. Your boy don't got the money for that. You got me tripping. I'm not buying the game just to test it out. Let's just dive into all the parts that make up this awesome gaming PC. I decided to go Intel with this build. Really, the only reason was I wanted to use this Intel i5 that I had on hand. Yes, it is an i5, but it's not a crappy second gen one. It's the 9400F. This CPU came out in January of 2019 and is a solid little 6-core CPU. It's on par with the Ryzen 5 3600, which was also released in 2019. Although the 3600 is a bit better than the 9400F, about an 8% difference, and it's also built on the best budget platform, also known as AM4. So it does have more of a lifespan with its better upgrade path, but honestly, you would be perfectly set with either CPU. My personal recommendation, if you want it, just get whatever you can get the best deal on. Now for our memory, it's a super basic kit of DDR4. This is a 2x8GB G.Skill Ripjaws kit, clocked at 2666 megahertz. Yep, that's it, nothing fancy. You may be thinking that the RAM speed is a little bit slow, but it's completely fine. The 9400F only supports a max RAM speed of 2666 anyways. To make this computer super fast and snappy, like that one time I snapped my fingers and I sharded and then my uncle woke me up from my nap because I was late from school to meet my doctor, I'm using an NVMe drive to just keep everything super simple. I don't like those SATA data cables, throw them away. The SSD I'm going with is the Crucial P3 500GB NVMe. The motherboard that's holding all of our parts is the Gigabyte B365M. It's a nice little micro ATX motherboard. It has your pretty standard layout with 4 RAM slots, 1 M.2 slot, and of course it has rear I/O ports. Now for the gaming side of this gaming PC. I'm going with this Zotac GTX 1080. It has 8GB of GDDR5X memory, which is a bit faster than your standard GDDR5. And this card can be found for around $100 to $200, but I'd recommend trying to spend as little as you can. Try to get it for as close to $100, and if you can get it for cheaper, then definitely do it. But before we do install the GPU, I'm going to clean it. I recommend cleaning your GPU, especially if you buy it used. You don't really need to, but I recommend it. Might as well. You can see this 1080 has some dust buildup on the fans, as well as just some dust on the PCB and in the fin stack. I start with dusting the GPU with an electric air duster, and this will remove any of the loose dust. I hold the fans down so you don't wear out the bearings, but just be careful because somehow I broke 2 fans and cut my finger with the GPU. Just be careful and you'll be fine. Then after dusting, I take apart the card and wipe off any other dust I see. And if the thermal pads are bad, then I typically replace those as well. And then the last step is just wiping off the old thermal paste, applying some fresh thermal paste, and bam, clean GPU, baby. Encasing all of our components is a wonderful budget case. It's the Sama ARGB Q5 in white. Pretty standard micro ATX case with a tempered glass side panel, mesh design in the front for optimal airflow, and it also comes pre-installed with 3 ARGB fans, which are all hooked up to the included RGB hub in the rear of the case. Yes, it's a really great option if you're on a budget. I highly recommend the case. It'll be linked down below for you to check it out, as well as all the other parts that I'm using in this build. Now to power all of our components. I'm using a 500 watt power supply from Seasonic. It has all black cables with an 80+ bronze efficiency. Now for the parts that aren't needed, but you might as well get them if you have the extra money. White cable extensions. They are about 20 bucks on Amazon, and they really make a build a whole lot better. Well, in terms of aesthetics. And finally, a CPU cooler. I went with the ID Cooling ARGB Tower Cooler. The little i5 doesn't need this. You can get away with the Intel stock cooler, but if your CPU doesn't come with a cooler when you buy it, then definitely get this one. With the build completed, the build cost is coming in right at $324.58, and oh my goodness, this PC looks gorgeous. Rate the aesthetics 1 out of 10 down below in the comments, but now let's check out that performance because it's pretty good, especially for the price. I first decided to test out some AAA titles. I ran Shadow of the Tomb Raider with the high settings preset, and the system averaged 86 FPS. While I was watching this benchmark, I was just trying to figure out if they had changed the in-game benchmark, because honestly I don't really remember seeing some certain parts, but maybe I just never really fully paid attention. In Cyberpunk, I also ran the in-game benchmark with all high settings and we averaged 73 FPS. In Borderlands 3, I also just ran the in-game benchmark once again with high settings and we got an average FPS of 85. The last AAA title game that I tested was Hogwarts Legacy. I just walked around the town for a little bit. I had the settings set to the high preset and we averaged 57 FPS. Now for shooters slash esports titles. In GTA 5, I just wanted to pop as many cops as I possibly could. And for some reason, when I tried jumping over to this other roof, Franklin just didn't jump. Typical GTA 5 movement. I almost got away with hiding in this bush, but they caught me and blew my back out. We averaged 129 FPS with all high settings. Now in Warzone at 1080p with basic settings, we averaged 80 FPS. In Apex Legends, I played the gun run mode at 1080p with high settings and then the shadow settings turned off. And the system scored an average of 168 FPS. The last and final game I tested, you know I had to throw in the good old Fortnite. I tested with performance mode and I averaged 199 FPS. Now normally I flip my PCs when I'm done testing them, done making videos on them, but since I broke the fans on this GPU, I had to order a replacement kit on eBay, but it was only 15 bucks, so that's not terrible. Rate this PC's price to performance down below in the comments and also let me know if you would build something like this. I personally think this is a great build, but I'll let you guys be the judge of that. So leave me some feedback down below in the comments, and while you're down there, smash the like button if you enjoyed the video, subscribe if you loved it, and if you like budget gaming PCs, then watch this video next, and I'll catch you over there. Peace!